whilst the likes of Nigel Mansell and Derek Warwick also grew up in this formula. Started in 1967, it's for single-seater chassis using a single regulation treaded tyre and standard 1600cc Ford engines mildly tuned. Chassis choice comes from 3 main manufacturers with a variety of engine tuners, all producing around 110 horsepower for their drivers. Only one man has won this event twice, and that's Donald McLeod. But back here for a second attempt is last year's winner Nico Palhares, whilst against him this year's British champion Michael Vergers and champions from France Jules Bouillon and Dutch star Martin Kuhner. Lining up then for the first semi-final here at the Formula Ford Festival, it's an all-Irish front row. On pole position is 25-year-old Finn Murray, who's actually been over in Britain doing the British Series, in which he finished 3rd this year, whilst alongside him, the 2nd in the Irish Championship, young Michael Edgar. And there on pole position, that is Finn Murray. He won his heat and his quarter-final. That's got him onto the front row for the semi-final. And alongside him, really a surprise of the festival so far, Michael Edgar. We haven't seen him much in Britain at all, but he's certainly having a very impressive Formula Ford festival. There, though, back on road 10 is the first ever winner of the first Formula Ford Festival, Ian Taylor, winner of this historic event back in 1972, and he's here to enjoy himself and still enjoy his racing. And just 2 rows in front of him, on row 8, there is young Warren Hughes, who won his heat very impressively and was dicing for the lead of his quarter-final before spinning off. So a lot of work to do for Warren Hughes on the 8th row of the grid. The cars then forming up on the grid, awaiting the red lamp, then 10 seconds in the off. The rain is spitting onto the commentary box window. It's been dry for all the heats in the quarterfinals. It's going to stay dry for this semi. 15 laps, the start's so important. But on the front row, the favourite for the race, Finn Murray. And it's green and go, and Murray from pole position makes the race. Edgar, though, is holding him all the way up to paddock. There's a queue behind Russell Ingall, the Australian champion, the yellow Van Diemen, trying to get through. But Murray held his line up to paddock, and through he goes. Out wide there, there's cars trying to get a place. But Edgar trying to go around the outside of Murray. Murray holding that inside, but Edgar now right the way, long way around the outside. But he doesn't burn. Very bold move by Edgar. Murray leads, Edgar 2nd, Australian champion Russell Ingall in 3rd. So, settling down out front, Finn Murray after that attack from Michael Edgar. Edgar determined to try and take the lead in the first 2 corners, but Murray now got a little bit of breathing space as the rest of the field streamed through clearways. There, Warren Hughes, middle of the pack, a lot of work to do for him. And now it's Ingall trying to take 2nd place off Edgar while Murray gets away. Ingall trying the long way up at paddock. He'll now try and get tight up the inside for Druids. But all the time, Finn Murray, he got the start from pole position. He's hoping now that Edgar will be kept very busy by Ingall and he can make his getaway at the front. Young junior Jeremy Cottrell in 4th place there. These 4, a little bit of a breathing space, the rest behind. But Ingall all over the back of Edgar. Edgar holding the inside up to Surtees. Murray getting away at the front. Certainly Finn Murray will be happy his fellow Irishman's having this amazing dice for 2nd. Russell Ingall wants to get past and get after Murray. Jeremy Cottrell, the young English junior, moving up in 4th place and closing on the 2 in front. As Ingall looks again, there we have a spinner. That's Chris Hall, sadly one of the champions. Edgar now on the inside, Ingall alongside on the outside, but again Edgar holds that inside racing line. In the dip of Paddock Hill Bend, up to Druids, Ingall looking this way and that. Always very difficult overtaking at Brands Hatch. You have to build up the overtaking manoeuvre, look ahead, trying to make a move 2 corners ahead now. Edgar will be merely moving, he can't really get through there, he goes back to the racing line. He'll look, a possibility occurs now. He can pull tighter inside at clearways and up the inside, but no room there. Murray looks like he made a mistake because all of a sudden Edgar's much closer to Murray. Finn Murray must have made a slight mistake there because certainly Edgar is much closer than he was before. He's settled down again. There's more spots of rain on the commentary box, and there again Finn Murray goes wide. Maybe the rain is getting on the track because certain Edgar now, Murray in trouble. having to block his position again for spots of rain, and Edgar is closing in as Murray makes a bit of a mess of things. Again, there the car sliding through Graham Hill Bend. Russell Ingall no longer as close as he was to Edgar. Edgar, of course, here in the... There again, Finn Murray goes very wide. Murray in a Reynard chassis, the three following cars all in Van Diemen's. And Finn Murray doesn't seem to be as comfortable as he was, sliding out of clearways. There, Ingall third, Cottrell fourth. Another spinner there at Surtees, where that's Moss Thorpe, who's had a very good first festival, a young driver, many more races ahead for him. But up front, it's all about Finn Murray and Michael Edgar. Northern Ireland trying to attack Era. Two Irish drivers battling away at the front, both young drivers, and these two now dropping Ingall, who maybe enjoys the Australian sunshine more than the drizzle rain of Brands Hatch. So there, we see out front, I see in the background, Cottrell has got through. Ingall slid wide at Graham Hill Bend, and young Adrian Cottrell, the British junior, has moved up into third place. But the battle out front really is raging. Michael Edgar getting closer and closer, and Finn Murray looking very uncomfortable in these dampening conditions. The drizzle, the rain is beginning to get heavier, and although he seems to be able to pull away on the exit of clearways, Edgar closes in under braking so impressively. Cottrell now moving ahead, away from Ingall, and Cottrell trying to catch these two. But certainly Murray is on the brakes earlier than Edgar. Edgar very late on the brakes, and it really is just looking for a way by. Only 5 laps, 1/3 distance completed, another 10 laps more to go. There again you see already using the wet, wider line around Graham Hill Bend. There's more grip off the normal racing line. There's so much rubber laid down on the tighter racing line. The drivers tend to go wide. They're much too wide. Again, Murray in trouble. Edgar sliding, and this really is tremendous stuff. Jeremy Cottrell all the time is closing in behind as the track gets more and more like a skating rink as the drizzle continues to come down. And this is a fantastic drive by Michael Edgar, really the surprise of the festival so far, as one of the real favourites, Finn Murray, comes under increasing pressure. Up to paddock, Murray holds that inside line, Edgar goes wide, hoping to cut inside on the way up to Druids, and he's done it. That is a beautiful manoeuvre, a classic paddock bend up to Druids. He's got the inside line now, and Murray loses that lead. So Edgar there did the classic manoeuvre, he held up wide. We see as Finn Murray held a tight racing line, Edgar went wide and then chopped back down the inside and got the line up to Druids, and now he's pulling away out front. Michael Edgar from Northern Ireland leading the semi-final. Finn Murray immediately under pressure from young Jeremy Cottrell, the junior, who is going to have a look up the inside at clearways, but not to be on this lap. But Jeremy Cottrell, a maturing young driver, going better and better. Maces in the junior championships, he was the 3rd best junior this year behind Warren Hughes, who was the best, and Warren Hughes, of course, moving up in about 6th place. In fact, Warren Hughes now up to 7th place from 15th on the grid, so it's a tremendous comeback for Warren Hughes. The first 3 now, Finn Murray, a bit of breathing space to Cottrell, a long gap back to Russell Ingall in 4th, the Australian champion, nevertheless having a very good showing indeed. So these front 3 now, look how greasy it is there. Edgar sliding, Surtees corner, maybe the greases, or Ingall there in 4th. In 5th place, that looks like maybe Simon Harris in the grid. There's Warren Hughes up to 6th place in the Ferrari look-alike Van Diemen. So Warren Hughes reveling in these conditions. He must have been very upset with himself for spinning off in his quarter-final that put him so far back on the grid. He was 15th on the grid to start this race. He's up to 6th place, and he's the man on the move. Only just over half distance completed, so Warren Hughes has got plenty of time to make up more places. Every position meaning another row further up on the grid for the final, so maybe Warren Hughes is festival. There's Ingall going out of shot behind Ingall. That's the Brazilian Duda Rosa, not Simon Harrison. De La Rosa is the next target for Warren Hughes. The gaggle behind him of typical Formula Ford. Battles all over the place, but Warren Hughes will be hoping to move away from this particular battle. He's got a young French driver, Eric Angevin, behind him. He was second in the French Championship, and it's good to see so many French drivers over for this year's festival and doing very well. Angevin, in fact, staying with Hughes for the whole of that lap. So Angevin learning quickly how to go the quick way around Brands Hatch in the wet by following Warren Hughes. Indeed, Hughes seems to be more under pressure from Angevin and not moving ahead. He needs to get on and chase De La Rosa, the Brazilian, ahead of him. Although these cars, of course, all run the same treaded Dunlop tyre, by regulations there, Ingall and really Hughes not really much closer to De La Rosa at all this time. And Angevin trying the long way around the outside of Hughes. That's a brave manoeuvre by the Frenchman. It's very greasy, but certainly it shows that Hughes isn't going forwards anymore. He's got to 6th place, and that seems to be as far as he's going to get at the moment. In fact, he may lose that 6th place any minute now as Angevin looks up the inside. But I was saying all these drivers use the same treaded tyre, but of course if it's a dry race they tend to run tyres with a lot less depth of tread in them. So most of these cars won't have much tread if it does rain a lot. If it rains they use newer, more deeply treaded tyres. But here Hughes in trouble, Angevin fighting to get past him. Here typical Formula Ford slipstreaming, up to Paddock Hill Bend. Down the straight, you stay in the slipstream, waiting to pull out at the last moment, trying to nip up the inside. That's young Alistair Johnson trying to take the Frenchman's 7th place, not quite making it, but Alistair Johnson also from Northern Ireland having a good Formula Ford festival. Angevin again looks the long way around the outside of Warren Hughes. Cooper Straight, very greasy indeed the straight. It's along a curve, and when it gets wetter there's a river that goes across it. These three actually are beginning to close in on the Brazilian De La Rosa ahead and Russell Ingall. Trouvenel looking all the way. Angevin, I beg your pardon. Eric Angevin then looking still to get by Warren Hughes. Hughes must have come up and overtaken him early on, but seems to have got stuck. The greasy conditions again not suiting Hughes. And Angevin looking to get by, second in the French Championship. And there he gets a lot of power down. He pulls the inside this time, looks to the outside. All the time, these three are closing in slightly on De La Rosa and Ingall in 4th and 5th. Down Graham Hill, into Graham Hill Bend, very greasy, taking that long, wide line where there's more traction in the rain. Into Surtees. Hughes merely holding his position now, no longer charging forwards. Eric Angevin really getting the power down right in the slipstream of Warren Hughes. He's right in that gearbox, being towed along by the vacuum created by the hole in the air with the car. Then he pulls to the left to try and make Hughes defend. Hughes takes the inside line to Paddock. All the time there, Alistair Johnson taking a watching brief. Angevin again quicker out of Paddock, but cannot find his way as Hughes takes the inside line for Druids. Again, this time Angevin, maybe he's done it, this time all the way around, and that is tremendous, to hold on all the way around the outside of Druids, but now he's going wide. He had to lift momentarily. There's three abreast, there's one on the grass, Johnson on the grass, now Hughes on the inside for Surtees. So again we saw Angevin took the long way around the outside of the Druids, but the inside line for Graham Hill Bend was too slippery. He slid wide and Hughes was back. Johnson looks up the inside at Clearways. But again, there's not so much grip on the inside, and Angevin now has got to do it all over again. On to start, 2 more laps. 2 laps only remaining. This battle rages for who's going to be on the 6th row of the grid for the final. And every row counts so much. Up ahead, we still have the same status quo. Michael Edgar doing trouble. There we see De La Rosa trying to take that 4th place and indeed getting past Ingle for 4th place. Out front, Edgar well ahead. There's Finn Murray still having to hold on a second, and Finn Murray under pressure again from Jeremy Cottrell. 4th now, De La Rosa. 5th, Russell Ingle. And here, 6th, Warren Hughes. 7th, Ormsby. 8th, Johnson. Through 30s, braking for clearways. Here's where Ormsby takes this very wide line, looking for the better traction to get the speed onto the straight. And there he is, right behind. This is tremendous Formula Ford battling here between these 3 drivers. And there we see the leader on his last lap, and really this has been a tremendous drive by Michael Edgar. He's well ahead now of Finn Murray, and Finn Murray again under pressure from Cottrell. Cottrell looks to the inside, but Jeremy Cottrell, I'm sure, will be pleased with a 3rd row position on the final. So Cottrell not going to be too desperate here. Looks like he's going to settle for 3rd place behind Finn Murray, who's going to have to sort out his chassis settings for the final if he wants to do better if it still stays wet. 4th place is now the Brazilian De La Rosa. 5th, Austrian Ingle, and still the battle rages for 6th place with Hughes holding on. Finn Murray slides through 30s into clearways for the last time. He's going to finish 2nd, but he won't be happy with the fact that Michael Edgar, a tremendous performance, is going to win this semi-final. Michael Edgar from Northern Ireland wins the 1st semi-final. He'll be on the front row for the final. 2nd, Finn Murray. 3rd, a good drive from young Jeremy Cottrell. 4th, the Brazilian De La Rosa. 5th, Ingle. And Hughes there holds on to 6th from Ormsby, and a good drive by Alistair Johnson. But there, the winner, tremendous drive, Michael Edgar from Northern Ireland.